The build show today, we're going to take a look at a system that we've seen before for radiant heat called Warmboard. Now, I first learned about this when I was on a trip up to Vancouver, British Columbia, and I saw a builder putting down this green aluminum face subfloor that I'd never seen before. It turns out it was Warmboard. And since then, I've learned a ton about this system. I've got to meet the inventor. They got some really cool stuff. And not too long ago, I got to visit a job that Steve Basic was using Warmboard on. Now, this was maybe 2 or so years ago. And at that job site where they were installing Warmboard, they were nailing hardwood floors right over top of it. And I was intrigued, fascinated with the system. And it's basically an aluminum skin over some plywood that you run a tubing set on, such that when you warm that floor up, you're warming directly the bottom of the hardwoods, and then your entire floor radiates that heat to you, which just feels incredible in the wintertime. Now, that house in particular that we toured had a pretty extensive mechanical room with a very large basement, a big boiler, and a very extensive kind of tubing and valve set going on with it. But what's changed is now Warmboard has an incredible new system where everything is way more compact, including their own boiler system. So with that being said, we're going to jump out to the International Builder Show where I got to catch up with the inventor, the original founder of Warmboard, to see what's new in their system. Today's build show is sponsored by Warmboard. Let's get going. All right, guys, coming to you from the Warmboard booth. You're familiar with this product. We've talked about it before. This is a panel system, a plywood that has a thick aluminum skin on it that you put down during construction. And then your plumber is gonna drop the system of radiant tubing. Now, what's cool about this that I just learned is it's actually a really low temperature system. The pipe temperature is only something like 100 to maybe 110 degrees, maybe even as low as 90 degrees, which means you can put your hardwoods right on top of this. But let's actually meet Terry, the inventor of the product. Terry, you got some new stuff to show me this year, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
What do you got, man?
Well, we've been making panels for about 20 years, and everybody keeps asking us, what do you do for the rest of the system? And this is the rest of the system. We call it the Warmboard Comfort System. And it includes this proprietary boiler. The boiler is made by Lochinvar in Tennessee, American-made boiler.
That's an old name. They've been around a long time.
We make this part of the system down here. It kind of matches the cabinetry there, so it looks nice on your wall. And inside of it,
it's really compact too.
Is all the stuff that normally is spread out in a wall in a garage or in your basement or in a utility room, and it looks like it belongs on a nuclear submarine. and it's all very expensive to install. It's very complicated to design, and only a few people know how to do it.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make a system that any journeyman plumber could install. And so all you really need to do is you hang this thing on the wall. There's a hanger right here. You hook a flue up to it. You hook up gas connection to it, supplies and returns to your manifolds, and plug it in, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, so this is everything you're seeing here. Really, this could be a system with 4 zones in a house, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing to it.
Yeah. Well, this is one zone controller that's doing four loops.
Okay.
Our typical systems are probably on average 8 to 10 loops, 8 to 10 zones per system. And we've done as many as 40 zones.
Dang.
Yeah.
Now, Terry, this is not doing domestic hot water, though, right?
That's
You're going to have a
correct.
separate unit, a tankless, or a tank that's going to supply your showers. This is really just doing radiant. And I suspect because of that lower temperature, you're pretty efficient, too. You're probably not using a lot of gas, let's say, to heat your house.
Well, yeah, that's true, because domestic water, once it comes out of the faucet, about 120. And this operates typically about 90 to 110, like you say. So we designed this just for heating floor water, and you'll have a separate unit for your domestic water.
That's really cool. Now, Terry, one thing I think is unique about Warmboard, and you guys in particular, is that you sell the entire system. You don't just buy tubing at this supply house and buy this part there and buy this there. You can actually get the entire system, including your panels from you guys, which are, by the way, made in California. Talk to me about how that would work, and can you give me any basic idea on pricing, right? This is not the least cost system for a house.
The first step is for you to give us your CAD drawings for your house.
Okay.
Then we do a preliminary drawing for you. We don't charge anything for that. It's just so you can see the concept of how your zones are going to lay out, you know, where you're going to have hardwood, where you're going to have carpet, where you're going to have tile, these sorts of things. And you can kind of analyze things. I'm an architect. You always start with preliminary drawings before you do the working drawings.
Yep.
And then once you approve the preliminary drawings, if you go with the comfort system, We do charge an engineering fee to do this engineering. You typically are going to get anywhere from 8 to 12 D-size sheets of professionally engineered drawings with a wet stamp on it. So you get this complete system that's fully engineered. It's plug and play and ready to go. It's an integrated system. So these thermostats have unique address codes on it that we set on each thermostat. This manifold controller has a unique address code on it. This smart reset controller, so all these electronics are all designed to work together as a system. We pre-assemble them and run them in our factory before we send it out to you. We color code all these components, and it's just plug and play. And this is a very unique thermostat here. It's got like an e-ink display. It's beautiful on the wall. It's kind of like an iPhone, basically.
So it's basically pre-commissioned.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right? Which means that probably when the plumber is installing this, it's a lot faster than a traditional system for that plumber to install, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. I mean, and the plumber doesn't have to sit there and do heat loss analysis. He doesn't need to figure out what set point to put the boiler at, because this smart reset controller figures out the right water temperature, and it's constantly looking at all your thermostats in your house once a minute. And these thermostats measure temperature to 1/100th of a degree.
Wow.
And we use this data to make sure we have exactly the right water temperature to maximize your energy efficiency and your response time. So there are times that we sit there and we go for absolutely the lowest temperature, so that's the most energy efficient. But then there's times when you want to return from nighttime setback, and then we crank the temperature up for about an hour or so till you get return, and then we go back down again. It's kind of like when you're driving your car, you want to keep your foot off the gas as you're driving on a level road, but if you want to climb that hill, you want to put it on the gas for a while. Once you're up the hill, you back off again. So this system constantly is adjusting the water temperature to maximize not only energy efficiency, but comfort and performance.
That's pretty cool. Terry, it's so fun to meet the founder, the inventor of the company. I think it's really cool how you guys have all these parts and you partner with manufacturers so that you're really pretty much all manufactured and made in the US, right?
Pretty much, yes.
That's pretty awesome, man.
All right.
How can people find out more about you?
Warmboard.com.
All right, guys, from the Warmboard booth. Now that we're back from the Builder Show and I've had some time to digest this footage that we took out there, I think it's really interesting how Warmboard has been able to kind of give you everything you need for your entire system. Not just the plywood, not just the boiler, but really the engineering and the thought behind it. That's really the part I think that's most intriguing to me about their system is that, oftentimes when it comes to HVAC systems, you're having the contractor, the HVAC contractor, let's say, or the plumber in this case, maybe for a radiant system, design the system, do all the calcs, try and figure everything out. But in this case, Warmboard's doing all that heavy lifting, all the engineering, giving you all the drawings, such that it's really straightforward. I really like that as a builder, knowing the system's been designed and engineered and even pre-commissioned, so that when we're installing it on the job site, it ultimately is a bit of a plug and play, a bit of a Lego system on the job site. And man, that comfort for those warm floors, I don't think that can be beat. That's the X factor here when it comes to radiant flooring. That comfortable, incredibly well even temperatured, zoned throughout your entire house. Really great people there. Follow their links in the description below so you can get some pricing on your house and figure out if this might be a system you might want to invest in for your house. But in the meantime, big thanks to Warmboard for sponsoring today's video. I've really enjoyed working with these people. There's some good folks over there. And you guys, if you're not currently a subscriber to The Build Show, hit that link below, guys. We've got new content here every Tuesday and every Friday. And oh, by the way, over on our website, thebuildshow.com, we're publishing 10 new videos a week with several other builders besides me, as well as an architect, a design build guy. We also have some tradespeople that are contributing to us as well. Lydia Crowder, who's a drywall contractor, and Eric Ani, a plumbing and heating contractor based in Minnesota. So we've got some really, really good content over there. We used to be buildshownetwork.com was the address. We still own that, but we've migrated everything over to thebuildshow.com. With that being said, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on thebuildshow.com.